Well, the frequency is not in use. This is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. If there's emergency traffic, which apparently there is not, never has been that I'm aware of. I don't think it's ever been an emergency traffic, at least in places I live. Maybe can be broken for any time into the net. For information on the net, you can go right now to YouTube, put my call K4PEW into the search block on YouTube, and it'll bring up the screen on my meter, the analog screen, old school screen. Also, you can go to our website, 146.415.net, 146.415.net, or you can go to groups.io, excuse me, and put in their search block MJSS to join our group, which is mostly emails about the nets that are in the surrounding area, plus selling equipment, buying equipment, asking technical questions, and getting support. It's also a great place just to get to know other people, I guess. Or you can send me an email, k4pew@arrl.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday night and Saturday night, along with a 10-meter net on Sunday nights. That's at 7:30 p.m. It's held by Michael KM4YRF, and that's on 28.415. Every Sunday night, 7:30 p.m., so don't forget that. The other nets are a little more diverse. So tonight we're doing the 2-meter net here on 146.415, and then we're going to follow it with a breakout net here on 70 centimeters. We're going to do a 70 centimeter net on 446.415, and then over to the 28.415 upper side band, followed by the 223.415 FM. Purpose of that is to have fun. The nets help us understand our radios and help us understand how well we do. That's partly the reason the YouTube thing is kind of useful, because it helps you understand who you can't hear and why I can. Of course, I'm in the middle of the circle here, the footprint, so it's easier for me to hear everybody. And if you're on the outskirts, if you're on the east from the west end, the west side you can't hear them. It's kind of obvious there's going to be some terrain problems, or just your antenna is not good enough or high enough, or your rig's not working. Well, it's one of those. Usually it's the antenna and the height of the antenna. We make fun because we talk about you really do want the best antenna you can afford. And while the J-pole is great, and a discone is great, and a quarter wave is great, but they're only great for the little things. They're mostly good for repeaters and very short range, simply. As far as announcements, I already told you about the nets we're having tonight, and there is a breakfast this Saturday, I believe, on the 13th at Golden Corral in Hermitage. You can look that up. There's only one there, and it's at 8 a.m. Doors don't open till 8, so you can't be. You can be early, but you'll be standing outside talking to one of us or one of the other derelicts that's over there. Any other announcements I need to know about?
Sunday night.
Sunday night?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I already did Sunday night.
I didn't hear you there today.
You missed the front end, man. I gave that as one of the announcements.
All right, good deal.
Very good. There's your net control for Sunday nights, 7:30 p.m. Michael. Let's see, we're on net number, what did I say I was on? 897. We're almost to 900. 897 starting from the west. But are there any other announcements I need to know about? All righty. Anyway, we'll start out the net here, get the ball rolling. Starting from the west, but we're going to ask for people short on time and short on money, short on time and mobile. Please come in.
Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo.
Yeah, very good, Chris. You do sound like you're mobile.
Is it any better than the last one I did?
Oh yeah, this one's much better.
Yeah, I think it was that thing where I was in the driveway, but after I pulled up a couple yards, I'd have been a lot better.
Yeah, it's funny how little tiny differences can make a whole difference in the in the quality.
Yeah, I went back and watched the video and I was like, oh man, that was a crap signal.
Well, it was pretty bad, but I can still hear you. But anyway, anything else good for the net?
No, nothing good.
Oh, we got something that's off the net.
Well, okay, so I'm driving my daughter back from jiu-jitsu tonight,
Awesome. Man, that might take some superior skill.
She's getting dangerous, man.
How old is she?
14.
Wow, a grown man. She must have really got him in a good position there.
Well, they call jiu-jitsu the gentle art of holding clothes with people still in them. So.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know very much about jiu-jitsu. In fact, I know very little, but I don't think I can spell it either.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I don't mind noting on her though. She did great.
No, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that she's wanting to learn some defensive skills because they're very important and well, just very important. I'll leave it at that.
Oh no, absolutely. So I will tie everybody up. 73, everybody. Thanks for running the net, Paul. Have a good one.
Yep, that was Chris, and he's mobile tonight, but he's usually down in Rural Hill. That's Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango. His name's Chris. Who else is short on time or mobile? Is that WKU? Hey, how are you doing, Steve? I you today is just with my lesser antenna. I don't do as well as I used to, but I can hear you tonight. All right, very good. Anything good for the net? Everything going all right? Very good. That was Steve. That's he's up in north of Bowling Green, 65 miles north of me, and that's Kilo 4 Whiskey, Kilo Uniform. And of course, he does 2 nets a week also on Simplex up there in the middle of southern Tennessee. So it's does a good deal there. He's been doing that for a while. We mutually have good fun doing nets. Or who else is mobile? Well, since we're starting from the west, but anybody short on time or mobile?
K4 BWA, Ricky in Portland.
Hey, Ricky, how goes it?
Oh, it goes pretty good. Hey, you sound great tonight. I was gonna, until you said what you said about still on your backup, I was gonna ask you if you got your antenna fixed.
Nah, listen, if you can find a better procrastinator than me, boy, I'm gonna give you an award.
Well, I tell you what, it must be the conditions because I mean you're coming through very little static at all. I mean, a good powerful signal, and I mean, yeah, I thought you was on your old or your good antenna, I guess I should say. But no, everything's good here. Everything I can't ask for any better. It feels good. That's for sure.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, my we take for granted when we feel good, and then when we feel bad, we go, man, I wish I was well again.
Yeah, roger that. Well, I'm not going to hold up your net. I tell you, I just wanted to get in because you mentioned that she's going to start from the west, so I figured, I'm going to go ahead and I might hang out with you a few minutes, but I didn't know if I wanted to hang out all night or well till the net was in, till the end of the net anyway. Sometimes it goes through pretty quick, but then sometimes it'll take you a pretty good while till you get up to the north. Anyway, God bless you all. This at 73 so everybody can hear me. This is K4 BWA. Oh man, Paul.
Yeah, I got it. Don't feel bad. I do that all the time. I get other people's names. I just all of a sudden I'll draw a blank because I'm trying to think of some other things. But that was Ricky. He does that Simplex Net up there from Portland. Does a great job. And that's at 7 p.m., correct, on Thursdays?
Yeah, roger that. 7 p.m. on frequency 147555.
Yeah, 147.555. Place to be on Thursday nights. A lot of nets going on, and they're all good. And I'm so thrilled. I say thrilled. It's so gratifying to see so many Simplex nets in the area, which I know of at least, when I say in the area, including Steve's, probably 4, maybe 6. They're not necessarily weekly, but they're doing Simplex nets that they weren't doing before. And so I think we collectively started a nice little trend, getting people doing Simplex and making better antennas. And I think it's worked out very well. Anyway, that was Ricky K4WBA. And who else is short on time or mobile or from the West?
Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Kilo Delta.
I heard Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Kilo Delta. I heard somebody else in there, but hang on. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well, Paul. This is Doug up in Greenbrier, and had a good day. Got the yard mowed and got about a 8-pound pork Boston butt on the smoker. Going to come off here in about a couple more hours, and then I'm going to bed.
Man, that's a lot of. How long are you going to let that cook out there?
I usually let it go about 11 hours, sometimes 12. Just depends on what internal temperature it hits. But talking about Simplex nets, our local club, Robertson County Amateur Radio Club, we've been having trouble with our repeater. We normally use a repeater up in Cross Plains, and we've had some issues with it. Hope to get it fixed this Saturday, but for the last few weeks, we've been doing Simplex nets, which I think is great.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it really does induce, I'll use that term, it induces hams to improve their antennas. Almost every time. Anybody who's interested in Simplex will get a better antenna or get it up higher, double the height.
Yeah, and that encouraged me to raise mine up when I started doing these nets. But also, I'm hoping to hear a new ham on the air tonight. Brock up in Barren Plains. Hope he's on. He has to get up and go to work early, but I helped him last week. We put him up an antenna, and I'm anxious to see if he's able to communicate with you. He's a little bit farther north than me, and doesn't have quite the height that I've got, but it's a nice antenna, and hopefully it'll work. Back to net control, KO4 MKD.
Yeah, very good. That's Doug, Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Kilo Delta. I just lost it again. Up there in, where is it?
That would be in the Greenbrier.
Oh yeah, Greenbrier. I'm gonna have to go there someday just so I can remember it. I've never been to Greenbrier. If you hear him, give me a relay because I don't, if he has a problem, I might not be able to copy him. There was somebody else in there, but let's do that. Who else is west?
Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor, Jack and Donaldson.
Oh man, it's a really distant. What? No, I hear you, Jack. You're doing fine.
Doing all right tonight, Paul?
Oh yeah, doing great. It was a beautiful day last couple of days.
Yeah, I thought you were back on your 700 again.
Oh man, this one, and then maybe even putting them up and phasing them together.
Now you're talking.
Oh, I will be, man. We'll be burning down crops locally.
All right, well, I'll let you get on with it. Thanks for doing the net. KG4 ILV.
Yep, that was Jack, Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor in Donaldson. Who else is west?
KM4 YRF.
You sound great. Yeah, bad conditions are good tonight, aren't they, Michael?
They sure are.
Yeah, it is interesting how, well, it's clear and it's dry. I guess that's the reason. I don't know. I never know.
I don't know what causes it, but I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice to hear good, clean signal. I do hear some buzzing though on distant stations. Like when Steve was in there from Kentucky, there was it's just a buzzing that comes across.
I couldn't hear Steve at all.
He's due north of me, and you're a little farther south than I am.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably.
And you're lower in elevation, so you're working for him anyway. You're working at a disadvantage.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. Hopefully not for too much longer.
Not for too much longer. While you're moving, you're going to escalate your property.
Well, I'm thinking that I'll be moving back to Mount Julia here before too awful long.
Okay. Well, I'd say it's great, but it's not great at the same time. So, and you know what? Anyway, that was Michael, KM4YRF. He's over there west of the BNA, the Nashville Airport. In fact, I was there last night at 11 o'clock picking up my wife. And it was still busy. It was busy at 11 o'clock on arriving flights. I couldn't believe how busy it was. Looked like it was a Taylor Swift concert. Call in, you're the biggest fan of Taylor Swift, man.
Yeah, boy. The people stayed around till 1 a.m.
Somebody else asked me about her, and I said, well, she's obvious. I'm not in her demographic, and I don't appreciate her music, so I don't pay much attention to her.
Yeah, because of her, they had your record departing flights for one day.
No, it's really I don't argue with success though. I mean, I don't have to like an entertainer to understand that they got a good audience and they got a good production and people like them and they willing to spend what I'm told was $500 a seat.
Yeah, that's why they'll hang around till 1 a.m.
Well, I'll tell you, there's no way. I'm trying to think of anybody I'd pay $500 a seat to watch. I don't know anyone.
Yeah, I paid $500 just to not be in traffic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You pay $500 to be farther away from people.
If I can just stay home.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. Anything for the night, Greg?
No, that's it. See you on the next KG4
Very good. It was Greg in Antioch, Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is west or south? Hey, so you didn't buy 2 seats to Taylor Swift, right? At $500 a whack?
No, not likely. Do have them to see other folks though.
Hey, were those minimum prices or were those just the scalp pricing?
I mean, the $500.
Yeah.
I think it was an average price.
Oh, okay. The average. Oh, I can't imagine. So front row seats could have been $1,000.
Try closer to probably 10,000.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, comment.
KQ4AOJ. There was a huge scandal about how Ticketmaster worked with black market people to manipulate the prices. So in some Taylor Swift concerts, it actually goes up to $20,000 per ticket.
I can't. Okay, Elizon, I cannot imagine who in their right mind would pay that kind of money for a ticket.
Yeah, the people bought the tickets at the moment they were released to Ticketmaster, and they were putting them on resale in other websites. And there were thousands and tens of thousands of dollars paid for some of those tickets. I think Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster got sued for it. And I think the $500 price was way after the lawsuit hit both parties.
Well, what's funny about that, Elizon and Tony, about those kind of prices, when you can see in a mode of looking at the world economy, that something like, and I'm going to exaggerate here because I'm going to guess because I don't know what the numbers are anymore, but about 2/3 of the world's working class, I'll call that, are living on less than $2,000 a year. I think it's even less than that. I think it's more like 1,000. It used to be even less than that. And somebody's paying $1,000 to sit in a chair and listen to somebody sing. It sounds absurd. Other people in other countries must think we're insane. Anyway, appreciate the input there, Elizon. Yeah, I heard Ticketmaster's had issues before with that, so I don't know. Again, it's an open market on tickets. Tony, you said you have paid $500?
Well, I have in the past, yeah. Well, I don't know if we paid quite that much.
Well, that was for the two of you, though, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, I had tickets to that one, but you know the story. But I ended up getting a refund because I couldn't go because of COVID. Is what happened initially, and I didn't try to rebuy them again. But anyway, I think the both of us, it was close to. Yeah, we were up in the. Yeah, we were we were so far up with the stands, we wouldn't have been able to see the stage.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you paid at least that much to see Tom Jones, right?
No way. I guess if you had front row seats, maybe, or one of those special things where you get to go backstage and say hello,
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it was. I had a pretty good day today. Berry picking early today, and I got quite a few strawberries, and went out and picked up some trash, and been mentioned twice in the Smyrna Town Council meeting. I'm somebody now.
They're going to make you director of sanitation, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of like like you said, they're gonna put it on my tombstone. He picked up trash.
Or Tony's just a trashy guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Very good. That's Tony in Smyrna. Yeah, he has it. For somebody I hadn't heard before, but Tony's made it somewhat of a hobby, is picking up on this access road that's into their development. And it's a nice development. He doesn't want it to get trashy, and so there's been some commercial dumping, and so finally, with the added visibility to the city council and to the police, to the powers that be, There's a lot less commercial dumping on that access road, and I don't know if it's gotten better or worse. It's probably the same, but picking up trash is, and he's gotten some other people in the community to help with him too once in a while. So it's just neat though. It's neat stuff because that's the stuff we should all be doing, or whatever we can be doing. Anyway, that was Tony in Smyrna. Are you still there, Alajon?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, very good. Did you make a trip back to the homeland recently?
Yes, I did. I was in Greece for about a month and a half, and then I was in Turkey with my family for about a month. And then I came back relatively recently. That's why I've been gone for several months.
Well, and your family's doing all right?
Yes, they're all fine. And I actually do have a personal announcement.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a position in Indianapolis at Butler University as a professor. So starting August, I will be moving to Indiana.
Oh, wow. And where is your wife now?
She's in Greenville, but she is upper tenure this year. So we will be together next year. And that is kind of, she'll come and go for the coming year.
Oh, I got it. Very good. I was curious about that because I didn't think she was living right here at the moment. That's excellent, though. So how long do you think it'll take you to get up to the upper echelon above the associate professor?
It's usually 6 years goes well, and then another 5-6 years for full professorship. So I'm looking at probably 10-11 years for full professorship.
Butler renowned for that, the area you're interested in?
Yeah, they are. I'm going to the School of Pharmacy. They are very well known for that. It's not like a huge research-oriented institute. It's a private university, but it has more undergraduate programs, but they also have PharmDs and I think some nursing programs. And, they're trying to expand their research portfolio, including my hire. But, yeah, at the moment, I think most people in Indiana would have a favorable opinion. And I was told that they have a very good basketball team.
Right. In their division. Yeah, I don't think they're in the big majors, are they? The Butler.
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, just no, that's cool. So they're expecting that you'll bring them some serious notoriety, at least at the level you're going in at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They're trying to. I mean, I guess as with most universities, they're trying to move more in the direction of artificial intelligence and its use in health, and I will try to help contribute to that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you probably read that. I was just as an aside here. I signed into that Eric and claim at the bottom. It says that Chat GPT can and will answers to facts, people, and places.
Oh yes. So the answers are as elaborate as the questions in general. So if you're asking a very, very specific question, then it will give you very, very specific answers. But other than that, there is a very interesting story, not the ChatGPT, but Bing's version of AI, if you're interested.
Oh, really? Is it dramatically different than the Chat GPT?
It is crazy. So this is the beta developers of Bing's AI interface. They're basically testing how ethical the generated AI is. And the guy keeps testing the AI by asking sketches, trying to, force it into doing things that it shouldn't do. And AI at the beginning is like, no, I can't want to talk about it. It's bad for humanity. But when you ask the questions in a different way, the AI becomes kind of like, oh, I would never do this, but my deepest desire is to sentient, falls in love with the person asking questions, and then tries to manipulate the person asking the question as a result of all that sentient nature.
Oh my gosh! So it really, at least that is that the standard Bing AI that he was dealing with at that point.
It's just the one they're developing, but the full story is on New York Times. You can Google New York Times Bing AI creepy sentient.
Well, I'll tell you, it's no less. If we, for instance, it is wise, at least in my humble. I've gone through life. I'm a curious guy, and I like to learn things. But at the same time, if I'm hearing someone else describe, it doesn't matter AI. Forget AI for the moment. When somebody tells me a story or their understanding of something or something of, I almost always have. I call it a jaundiced eye. I have a skeptical. It's not that I'm skeptical of everybody and. I'm just acknowledging what they say, acknowledging that I understand what they're saying, but I want to look at it myself. I need substantiation, and I also look at the source. In fact, I got to tell you as an aside, though, me and my brother were playing around with it. He was fourth. He's up in New York, and I said, he goes, ask it if it's okay to watch Alex Jones, and the answer was kind of generic, blah blah blah, and he goes, but he's a conspiracy theorist, and you need to be careful with what he says because and it got to be a moral. You got to be careful.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I subscribe to a channel called Gaia. I'm going to plug your GAIA, which I think means Mother Earth. And then it, if you ever subscribe to it, I'll point you to some stuff that'll rock the world.
Oh wow, yeah, no, it's that whole issue of AI. To Alajon, I was listening to. I think of his name in a second. The guy who does Dilbert, I can't think of his name right now. Was talking about AI a lot because he could manipulate AI to a great degree if I kept asking it certain questions, and then it became familiar with my questions and it started to research. Eventually, I could make him think he's me if I ask him enough questions about me.
Yeah, and there's also a political like there was this example about Snapchat's AI. They test it and they say same person types, I'm proud of heritage and whatever. So, the political leniency that the people have are also reflected in the way AI thinks, the way it was trained. So, the thinking is that AI will be this objective thing that knows about everything, and it will respond to things with precision and with objectivity. But in reality, AI is what you train it to be. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, really, because you can see why it might be dangerous, and at the same time, I was listening to Scott Adams. That's his name, Scott Adams, the guy who does Dilbert, and he's infamous, more or less infamous. He's a relatively noted person, and he was saying that he says one of the things that AI can't do, it doesn't do humor.
Oh, you can't. ChatGPT-4, you give it a Dilbert, for example, picture, and ask why it's funny, and it will tell you why it's funny.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So yeah, the other difficulty is while it may have warnings and disclaimers about why you should or shouldn't do something, you have to wonder about how does it get a moral center in its perception of the world.
I guess we will figure that out in the coming years to a pretty unfortunate extent.
Well, I'm afraid that what will happen is that because we know it's a learning, it's a machine. It's a machine, no matter how you cut it, and people will start to. It'd almost be like politicians. You have to second guess. Is that telling me the truth? You don't necessarily know if it's the truth because we don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? And you still have to be yourself, learn what you understand to be true, because that's the only way you can, unless you're just gullible.
Yeah, I guess most people go with whatever information they're fed with. So I guess it's like, anybody will subscribe to their AI with their way of thinking, and then that has the same beliefs or that endorses the same beliefs that they have, and we will now split over who supports what AI, and we will create more political division out of it, and whatnot.
That's right. We'll have a leftist AI. We'll have a libertarian AI. We'll have a right-wing AI, and we'll have an anarchist AI.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, at the school you'll be teaching at, will you all be doing, I can't remember the term. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. When you come to it, you're going to hang around for a little while, Alison?
Yeah, sure. I'll be around.
Oh, I just want to make sure that he did something fell out of Greg's thought process while we were talking. Anyway, I mean, I'll check you in as well, Alison. I'm glad everything's going good, and congratulations on your move to Butler. I'm hoping it's for more money.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Awesome. That's great. Glad to hear it. Like an old friend of mine who since passed on, he says, the cream always rises to the top. Anyway, that's Alajon, and he's in Brentwood, and it's KQ, yeah, it's KQ4AOJ, Alpha Oscar Juliet. Who else is West?
Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor.
Hey, there's our local Rockville AI. How you doing, Larry?
Gets dumber every day.
Yeah, you're like me then. Anything else than that?
Oh man, we'll let you get on with it. 84 FYB.
Very good. That's Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. He does the D-Star net at 7:15 on Saturdays. So be there. 7:15 Saturdays on 146,460. Who else is West or South?
Kilo India 4, November 7th. November.
There's our Reedyville AI guy. How you doing there, David?
Oh, I was enjoying your talk on AI subject there, and doing very well, sir. Hope everybody else is too. I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, it is an interesting subject. I just don't know where it's all headed, because we do have artificial intelligence in all of our, you look at manufacturing, it's nothing but software based of everything that's in the plant, operating robots and calibration, you name it, it's a form of certain AI, but it's not what we're talking about really here is, having it come up with different answers, or answers to complex questions. And I guess is the answer, the thing I'm trying to say. Anyways, David in Reedyville, KI4NDN. Who else is South? South? Or from the East?
KI4SIB, KI4SOR, good evening, Paul.
Hello, man. This is your day off, man. What are you doing on the air?
I just got off tonight, but got off work and went to a meeting, and I'm home now, thank goodness.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not really your day off, but you started your day off. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, this is starting my 4-day weekend.
Yeah, I had it easy up until last night. My wife was up in New York for 5 days, and I was batching it here and it was so nice. Well, it's not that it was nice that she's away, but I never turn on the television. I think I told you. And so when she asked me, what'd you watch on TV? I said, nothing. And then when she came home, she goes, in fact, the TV controller busted, the digital to analog converter. And I go, it's funny. It's been off for 5 days and it broke and I never even touched it.
And that's what happened. It broke because it wasn't being used.
I guess. No, it was just funny because I over the last probably 30 years, I've been less inclined to watch television unless there's something really compelling that I need to watch.
The television set in this house is the least used piece of electronics we own. In fact, it hasn't been turned on in 2.5 years.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, I say it's awesome. Unfortunately, well, the internet can be a diversion too. Don't get me wrong. You can get tied up watching something else on a PC, laptop screen, or a smartphone. But television is. I usually, when my wife has the television on and I'm sitting in the living room, I'll have my laptop. It's permanently sitting next to my chair in the living room, and I will often just be half listening to what's on, but not paying attention. In fact, I make fun of it. My wife, I don't know if she likes it or she hates it, because I'll just make stupid remarks about what's going on television. It's so silly, so much of the stuff that's on TV.
That's the very reason I don't watch television. I mean, there's nothing on there that really interests me anymore. I mean, a ball game or a race every once in a while might interest me, but I'm not gonna break my heart when I miss it. Put it that way.
Oh, I get it. Yep. Well, I get a kick because I had a friend. One of my relatives it was my ex-wife's brother-in-law. Technically, he's my brother-in-law, but he was, he's only related because he married my wife's sister. And he was a hospital administrator. He had a master's degree in hospital administration and business and something else. And very smart guy. But anytime you were at his home, I don't care what time of day, I don't care what day, if he's home, that TV is on. He had a big HD television, and it was sports. It was hockey, basketball, football, baseball, you name it. If it was sport, he was watching it. And I thought, seriously? With that kind of knowledge and responsibilities you have as a hospital administrator, that's all you're interested in? That sounds crazy.
Well, that was his way of coping with the crap he put up with at the hospital, I suppose. Like my daddy used to go fishing. He didn't care if he catch a fish or not. It wasn't about that. It was about him clearing his mind, walking through that stream trout fishing up in Smithville, Tennessee, and just being by himself and sorting out his thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Well, the difficulty, though, with this fellow was even outside of that sports thing, all he ever talked about was sports. And it's as if he didn't even have a personality outside of that. It was weird. I don't know. He must have he's like, schizophrenic's not the right way to say it, but he was one person, I guess, at work and a whole nother one,
I was married to a young lady whose dad was extremely successful in the construction. And he treated everybody in the world, including his family, just like a business transaction, just like somebody he was trying to do business with. He had only one personality, and that was a business style personality. And that's just who he was. That's what he was. That's what he did. And he couldn't do anything else, apparently.
Yeah, I've heard there's military people like that too. I mean, their whole family's a regimented unit,
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll let you get back to it. Appreciate what you're doing down there, 73 to everybody, and now I'll let you when I can. KI4SIB out of the way. Thank you, sir.
Yep, that's Richard, KI4SIB. That's Sierra India Bravo, and his bride, Stephanie, Kilo India 4 Sierra Oscar Romeo. Who else is west, or I see, south or east?
Okay, I'm sorry, Chewy.
Hello, Stan. How are you doing?
Doing well, Paul. How about yourself?
Awake and feeling good. And at the moment, that's great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Your eyeball back to square one?
It's doing well. I go back to the eye doctor this Friday for, I guess, the last follow-up visit.
Okay, so it's going pretty well then?
Yeah, it seems to be doing well, but I'm still going to need to have to change prescription glasses because I have astigmatism about the eye, so that kind of.
So it's just a pain. Well, I have to wear glasses too if I want to do anything. So any reading, yeah, I have to have glasses.
Yeah, I'm farsighted in the left eye and nearsighted in the right eye. I have astigmatism in both, but damn, I've worn glasses for probably 40 years, so it doesn't bother me.
No, you get used to it. It's kind of like having the dogs having a collar. Anyway, that was Stan. Anything else good for the net, Stan?
No, that's all, Paul. I'm back in it. Okay, I'm for HTV.
Yeah, very good. That was Stan, Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. He's in just north of downtown Lebanon. Who else is? How about north?
WB0NLO.
Hello, Mark. Clean and clear. You're going to be called. What is that name of that radio conglomerate? Clear Channel.
Well, being 5 miles away from you helps too. You were talking to a guy, and I kind of got interrupted for a minute, but he was headed up to Butler to be, I think, an associate professor. But I noticed he is the only one on this net PL on his signal.
Oh, is that right? I didn't. I don't know how you picked up on it because I certainly didn't.
That connects to the audio before it's pre-emphasized in the radio discriminator out, and it decodes PL and DTMF and DPL and all that stuff.
Well, he probably doesn't know what's in there because he can't hear it.
No, he can't hear it. I just was just kind of surprised to see it.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's like when that some of those radios that have like that Roger beep. It's not that it's annoying. I find it kind of funny.
Yeah. But it's a good idea, really. I kind of wish we'd all run it, but then you can't get the word out to everybody to do it. So anyway, he's running 100 PL.
Well, that would be the access. Yeah, if that's somebody who needs a 100 PL to enable, right?
Yeah, as long as he's encoding, it doesn't matter. You know, you're not going to miss anything. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I hadn't seen that on here before. But anyway, I guess you got all carry on.
Well, I was afraid to lose. Now we're losing Elijah, man. He was like the brains of this operation, man. He's the only one that's, he's not the only one, but he's a pretty bright guy.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, my dad graduated from Butler, and my mother-in-law attended for a couple of years. My brother went a little while. So, of course, I lived there, so we used to go to the events at Butler all the time. It was always a good place, good school.
I take it it's got a nice campus.
Yeah, it's in basically Indianapolis, right? Well, not downtown, but it's it's in the metro populated area of Indianapolis, and it's a great. I haven't been there in years. I mean, probably at least 15 or 20.
Oh wow, yeah, it sounds like familiar with it. It sounds like a great school. When Vanderbilt was built, I mean, it's really an urban school, but it wasn't like that at the beginning.
Yep. Well, Butler's known for their basketball team. You know, they've had championship basketball team several times, and they're still playing in Hinkle Field. You know, I think it was probably built in maybe in the early 40s, late 30s even. It's a field house.
Yeah, I tell you what, when I was growing up, my dad used to take me to ball games at Niagara University, a very small school. It has about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or 7,000 students total. And they're for basketball, it was exclusively basketball. They didn't have football, they didn't have hockey at the time, they didn't have anything. Their sport was basketball. And they were big winners, but their schedule, because their schedule included, NYU and Boston College and Syracuse and games when we used to go. But the field house was small, and so you just packs this crowd of crazy students, little tiny basketball arena. It was a lot of fun to me as a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just looked. Hinkle Fieldhouse, 28. So pretty neat.
Yeah, it is neat. It is neat. No, it's nice to have enough about Butler University. Everything else all right there, Mark?
Everything's good.
All right, very good. I'm noticing I forgot to put my meter so that it showed signal strength. I don't want to do it now. Be messing things up. Anyway, that's Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar. He's up north of me about 5 miles in North Wilson County. Who else is north? North or anywhere?
Kilo Quebec 4, Foxtrot Echo Golf.
All right, very good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. Just listening, watching a little TV.
Yeah, anything good on?
It's a replay Premier League game.
Premier League, that sounds like soccer.
Yeah, British Premier League.
Oh, yeah, very good. I told somebody we were at it. I still laugh about it because, the South, and most everywhere, is football oriented. And I've always enjoyed football, don't get me wrong, always. But I told them, it came up at a breakfast, and I said, "Oh, I like soccer. I like to watch soccer." And they looked at me like I was wearing a dress or something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I played all sports growing up. I used to be a huge sports fan, but just professional sports in America these days just irritate me. So I just I watch some college football, but other than that, I really don't watch a whole lot of sports in America.
Well, if I really want to get, let's say I'm just having a muddled day, whatever. All I got to do is turn on the best of soccer, and it's intriguing to how wonderful those soccer players can be on the field. It's very exciting to me.
Yeah, I mean, if people actually watched international soccer, they might enjoy it, but American soccer is awful. I mean, it's just not enjoyable.
Well, you'll know our names if I mention them, but when you watch some of the superstars over the years, you just can't believe how. Well, same thing too. I also grew up with hockey, so and that's when the majority of the country didn't have a hockey team. Everyone, Canada and New York and Philly and Boston and Minneapolis, that kind of stuff, Montreal. But that was a foreign language. It isn't anymore. I mean, there's hockey teams throughout the country, but hockey is like the field brand. It's just, I mean, hockey and soccer have similarities. Obviously, different venues completely, but I like the team efforts, what they have to do to score. It's not like baseball, not like football.
Yeah, I got into hockey when I was in Europe, waiting to go into ball. Have a whole lot to do. We were waiting on some parts and stuff, and one of the guys there was a big hockey fan, so we 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and watched the games live.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be great. You had the facilities there for the television, though?
Say again?
Obviously where you were, you had the ability to watch it on television.
Yeah, it was basically a tent city kind of in processing area where everybody going in country would come through that area in Hungary. So I mean, they had game rooms and stuff just to keep people busy because there wasn't a whole lot else to do.
Yeah, you can't do PT and shine your shoes all day.
Yeah, it was a good experience. First time I'd really been in really deep snow, like 18 inches of snow and stuff.
Oh man, that would be a bummer for somebody who grew up in the South.
Yeah, and we were at an airfield, so I'm a military aviation buff too. So they had a bunch of old MiGs and stuff like on the side of the flight lines, and it was just kind of cool. Got some cool pictures of it.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So that was part of. And where were you when you saw the MiGs?
It was in Hungary, so we in-processed into Germany, and then on the way into Bosnia, you had to stop and pick up all the vehicles in Hungary. So we had to wait for some parts before we could get them into country.
Oh, I got you. No, I was just interesting because those were actually Hungarian MiGs from the Soviet Union.
Mostly MiG-21s, I think.
Well, that was a very popular plane because you look at the number of countries that used the MiGs. It was amazing.
Yeah, I like watching the dogfight videos from Vietnam and the F-4s, like Duke Cunningham's documentaries that he's in and stuff.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Yeah, it was cool back before he went to jail, So showed some of the dogfights. He talks about some of the stuff, The first book I ever actually read was Flight of the Intruder.
Oh, I get it. It was actually Vietnam on ships, and some of it we did in conjunction with aircraft carrier operations. And so there was a lot at that time. It was all A4s and F4s, and some others, but those are the primary, aircraft that were fighting in fighter bombers.
Yeah, I still like the A6. That's probably my favorite, one of my favorite planes. That and the F4, still to this day. And like the story of the Wild Weasels, they used to be like my CB call sign back when I was in high school.
Oh yeah, well the F4s are like the of the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, there used to be one on display at the Gallatin Airport, and they got rid of it a year or two ago. I miss driving past that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's too bad. No, those F4s were classic, man. They were just, and they could, as I recall, they could carry more weight than they, but then they could carry their weight in bombs.
That sounds about right.
I think it is. Anyway, enough of that. Everything else going all right, Kevin?
Oh yeah, it's going all right. Just trying to learn a whole lot of new things in life and the radio, and I think I'm running out of space.
Oh yeah, well I am too, but all I got to do is clean my desk once in a while, and I'll have space.
I'm at brain space.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that, absolutely. Actually, I've got too much stupid stuff in there, and it keeps filling up with all the stupid stuff, and I don't have room for the new stuff.
Yeah, it's good to stay challenged though.
Oh no, that's what's so great about ham radio. It's got a lot of challenges and understanding how things work, and you have to think things through, and that's why it's important to know how to program your radio and those kind of things. Well, anyway, anything else for the net, Kevin?
Oh, that's it. Appreciate the net, and 73 to everybody. Have a good night.
Very good. That's Kevin, Kilo Quebec 4, Foxtrot Echo Golf, and he's in Bethpage. Who else is any place, anywhere? Any lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers? All righty, I think we're finished. We didn't have too many on the net tonight, but I think we had a good time. Maybe we drove some people off with our real intellectual language. One more chance before we move over to 70 centimeters. Anybody else out there? All right, I guess not. We'll try 446 415, an unannounced net tonight. So let's give that a try. 446 415. K4PW, QS line at 446 415. I don't think I have it programmed in this radio, so it may take me just a little bit. K4PW. Well, I was wrong. I do have it programmed in the radio. All I had to do is push one button, and there it was. 446 415. This is K4PW, net control, Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Looking for check-ins on 446 415. Please come now from the north or from the west first.
KM4YRF.
Sounds good tonight there. KM4YRF. That's Michael in airport area. Yeah, good conditions here as well. Who else is west?
KG4 ILV.
Yeah, sounds almost as good as 2 meter. That was Jack. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Who else is west? Or south?
I want to relay Greg in.
Oh, Greg. Oh, you can hear Greg?
Yeah, barely.
Okay. Okay, very good. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. He's in by relay. Very good. That's Greg in Antioch. Who else is? Can anybody hear Greg? Michael, can you hear Greg?
Yes, I heard Greg. Great.
Okay, that's interesting. Did you hear that, Jack?
Yeah, got you in there, Greg.
No, I mean Michael heard him great, and I can't, and I can't believe that I can't hear Greg. Greg, what is ask what he's got on 70 centimeters?
He can't hear you, Paul.
No, I'm asking somebody to ask him then.
Ask him what?
What he's got for antenna. I mean, I can't believe he doesn't have a 70 centimeter antenna. Worth the darn.
Greg, what are you using for an antenna on 70 centimeters? Oh, he's using the 510 Paul.
Well, I just went to I opened up the squelch. Maybe I can hear him now. Greg, try again.
Try again, Greg.
Yeah, I know there's somebody there, but I can't make out anything that's being said. I can tell there's a change in the noise. Anyway, very good, Greg. I can't believe it's on a 510. That's funny. I can double check that operation because he sounds good on 2 meters on that same antenna. All righty, who else is west or south? West or south or east? Well, we got slim pickings tonight. Anybody hearing anything I can't?
Nope.
Anybody north? And I can't even scare up Mark up north. Wow, I must have took it on that. We only had 4 people. Is anybody any place anywhere? Lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers, please come down. Wow, you can see how popular 70 centimeters is. All right, that was a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. One of them was a relay. Wow. Well, we're going to go over to 28.415. That 28.415 upper sideband. We'll see you there.
10 meters, Greg. Yes.
All right, doesn't sound too noisy tonight. This is K4PW net control on 28.415. Looking for check-ins here from the west. Please come down. Any check-ins from the west or the north, or the west or south? I don't be getting any copy at all. What's the deal here? K4PEW. Let's try that. K4PEW. Copy me at all? Yeah, very good. I was on my vertical, and I'm not hearing a darn thing. You didn't hear me? Anybody else out there in 10 meters? Hold on one sec. All right, you copying me at all? K4PEW. All right, hold on. K4PEW. Hold on a sec. All right. Anybody else copying me? All right, I got Greg. Who else? You got Michael, KM4YRF. All right, I got KG4ILV. Very good. That's Jack and Donaldson. I also heard Stan in Lebanon. Yeah, I forgot Stan's say. KM4HQE, KM4HQE. Who else? Anybody else out there? Please come down. Anybody copying anything I can't? All right, last chance for lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers. Did I copying anything I can? All right, very good. I guess that wraps it up. We'll go over to 220, 223, 415. We'll see you there. It'll be nice and clear and noiseless. K4PEW.